The views shared herein are of my own thoughts and opinions and are a reaction or response of alleged occurrences, statements, actions, and or events. Welcome to the Ill Chill Will Show, man. Welcome back. We got a nice jam-packed episode for y'all this week, and it should be very interesting, man. And of course, what would we be if we didn't start with what was the biggest news of the weekend, and that was Giannis of the Milwaukee Bucks going to the Miami Heat, man. So let's listen to what Shams said as he broke this trade down.
Deal finally get done?
Guys, this was a 13-month trade saga for Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Just to put it plainly, Giannis felt like his time was up with the Bucks a calendar year ago. The Bucks at every turn did everything they could to try to keep him. They fought this right until the end with Giannis to try to win around him. They depleted their assets, their salary books as well. But Giannis informed the team numerous times that it was time for both sides to move on, that he would not sign a long-term contract extension. So now for the Bucks, several weeks ago, they opened up for business. They started negotiating with several teams, and they really started to focus in on the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics over the last few weeks. Co-owner Jimmy Haslam came out a period of time ago and made it very clear that by the draft, the Bucks wanted to know whether Giannis was going to commit long-term or they would move him. Giannis was not willing to commit long-term, so they are now moving him. And you think about the haul that the Bucks got after negotiating with Boston and Miami in the last few weeks. You get Tyler Hero, that's a homecoming for him. Khalil Ware, a young center. Jaime Jaquez, a good two-way wing. You get Kasparas Yakashonis, who's just 20 years old, an up-and-coming guard. And then they get a significant return of draft capital. 3 first-round picks unprotected, including the 13th pick in the draft on Tuesday night. You get 1 pick swap far out in 2030, and then a 2033 second-round pick. So the Bucks now turn the page on the Giannis era after 13 years.
Okay, so let's break this trade down, man. The trade was very good for the Bucks, as you heard Shams of ESPN breaking it down. Bucks got a huge haul for Giannis, man. I mean, what more can you ask for? You heard all the young talent that's going there, and on top of first round picks that's going there too. So with that being said, man, it's like Miami pretty much gutted their team to get a aging superstar. So right now, all they have is Giannis, Bam, Bobby, Portis. Like, who else? Who else do they have? They don't even have a point guard, you know. So they definitely have bigs. They have a very good front court now. But who's gonna man the back court for them? Who's gonna be that point guard? They're definitely gonna have to go to the veterans minimum market, because Bam, he already got his contract extension last year. Giannis, he's already paid. So it's not that much money to play with for Miami. So how are they going to put a team around their 2 stars and Bam and Giannis? Now, is it a good tandem? Oh yeah, of course. Of course. If I had to choose a front court for my Lakers or whatever, you know, it would definitely be these two. But with at the same time, it's like, who's going to run the team? Who's going to set everyone up? Who's going to put people in positions? Who's going to be that coach on the floor? That's the huge question. And I guess we just got to find out. You know, Coach Eric Spoelstra, you know, he has a superstar to coach again, but at the same time, like, how would his team fill out? And that's my biggest question. But man, Giannis, man, he brought a title to the Bucks, man. It's almost like, well, it's not almost like, it is deja vu. You know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he brought a championship to the Bucks before he eventually left and went to the Los Angeles Lakers. And of course, won more championships for us, but that's a different story for another day, y'all. But now Giannis, he won a championship for this team. And, now he's in Miami. And like Sham said, like he wanted to contend more. And they tried their best. They tried, switching their roster around. They traded Drew Holiday to get Dame, and Dame didn't work out. But at the same time, like you don't know what that team would have or could have been had Doc Rivers didn't, put a little bug in the owner's ear on, hey, I don't think this coach is the right coach for this team. By the way, you have a veteran coach that's advising you that you probably should give her a chance to coach this team. Now he didn't say that. That's alleged. That's alleged now. I don't know if that happened for real, but at the same time, it's like who knows how that team could have been had Doc Rivers then creep his way through the back door to get control of that team. And of course, Dame, he got hurt, so you don't know what Giannis and Dame could have done had both of them been healthy. Now, like I said with Miami, like Giannis was out for a lot of injuries last year. Now, at the same time, we don't know how much of that was the team trying to, keep him healthy so they can trade him this offseason like they did. So you don't really know, but at the same time, what shape is Giannis really in? How is his body doing right now? How much tread does he have on the tires? Like Miami, they put their whole entire organization, they hitched it right up to a aging truck. Now he's still a truck. He still can get down there and bang with the best of them. He still have his athletic ability, but at the same time, are you getting the player that scored 50 points to close out Game 6 of the NBA Finals to defeat the Suns and bring a championship to the Bucks? Or are you getting half of that player? Because if you're getting half of that player, well, then you're depending on Bam to be your number one. But I don't think Giannis is coming to Miami to be number two. So we shall see. We're gonna have to see how this is gonna pan out. But man, talk about a weekend starting off with a banger like that. Like that was crazy. So I mean, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, man. I had to start off the show with this. Now I'm gonna start a new segment. It's gonna be called the Correction Zone, where I pretty much try to correct things that I said wrong the week before. StockX. StockX is very close to SpaceX. Like you can swap the names so fast, especially when you're talking about stocks. But I did at least announce the SpaceX IPO topic the correct way. But outside of that, I said StockX most of last week's episode. I apologize for that. SpaceX. Also, I just said Jalen, and then I said McBride for the Knicks, clearing that up. Jalen Brunson, for those who didn't know, and Deuce McBride for the Knicks, backcourt, part of that championship team that just won the championship for the Knicks. And I'm trying to think if it was one more thing that I need. Oh, the verses. Now, look, I did shoot myself a bailout just in case whichever group won that I said was going to win. So, in my case, I kind of got it right, but at the same time, I'm going to correct it. I was wrong. My boy Blaze, he said, ain't no way B2K beating Pretty Ricky in the versus battle. And he was absolutely right, man. Like that. The versus battle was good, by the way. But at the same time, Pretty Ricky, man, they mopped B2K up. I mean, what more can I say? Like they straight up mopped them up. By the time they got to, I think it was over once Pretty Ricky got to nothing but a number. Once they got to that, man, it was pretty much downhill from that. And before, it's funny because once Omarion started doing his solo his solo songs, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, if they want to beat them, they gonna have to have Omarion do solo stuff. They might have to bring out Rose with the MIA joint, you know what I'm saying? They might even have to bring Drake back, you know, from the So Far Gone mix track and get him out here to help them. Like B2K would have needed all the help that they needed, and of course they didn't get it. All they got was a Marion, and Marion can't beat Pretty Ricky by himself, you know. But like I said last week, like it was hard for me to see B2K beating them because of like Pretty Ricky. Like they're more. If you trying to do certain things, you're gonna play Pretty Ricky. Simple as that. It's gonna be before you ever decide to play B2K. And B2K, man, look, I'm gonna tell my age a little bit, but B2K was popping when I was in high school, and all the little girls in high school, they loved B2K, man, and their music was it was adultish, but it was also teenish. So for for them to keep on being joked by Spectacular and Pleasure P and Blue about them having teeny pop music, like I mean that's basically what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all the girls in my high school, all they could dream of and think of was B2K. You know, that's all they talked about was B2K. So it's like, you know, once I was out of school and, you know, I didn't go to college or anything, but, you know, Pretty Ricky, I was out of school when Pretty Ricky dropped. So it's like, you already know what time it is, man. So, hey, man, I was wrong about that. So that's it for the correction zone. Correction zone. That's going to be the name of it, y'all. So let's get back into the next topic, man. We kicked it off with Giannis, but we're going to stay in the NBA, man. And I want to talk about the other trade that took place. Giannis definitely took the big part of the trades, but let's talk about what the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing right now. At first, I was just going to bring up the LaMelo Ball trade from the Hornets to the Timberwolves and talk about how I felt like who was gonna win or lose, and I'm gonna also get into winners and losers of the trade season so far. And yeah, the Timberwolves are definitely the losers right now. They're definitely losers. Like I'm trying to think of what are they trying to do besides panicking to appease their superstar. You know, it's almost like Giannis all over again. Like you heard what Sham said, like Giannis wanted to win. So he put pressure on the organization and they started doing things that they wasn't really doing at first. Like they had a culture build that was a hard-nosed defensive team, but eventually, you know, they fired the coach that implemented that system, brought in a coach that was more offensive minded, brought in an offensive minded point guard opposed to Drew Holiday, who was defense and he had offense. And of course, you know, you saw what Drew Holiday did. He went on and helped the Celtics win a championship. So the culture was broken. So here we go. You have the Minnesota Timberwolves. You fast forward to the Minnesota Timberwolves now. And it's like, okay, was this trade for LaMelo to appease Anthony Edwards to keep him there? Or was this just something that they felt like they needed to do? Because, I mean, you got rid of two of your big men. You got rid of Nasri and you got rid of Julius Randle. So it's like, what are you going to do? All you have is Rudy Gobert right now in your front court. So what are the Timberwolves doing? I'm just confused. And not only that, they sent a boatload of picks to the Hornets. Like, let me get my paper, man. Like, they gave a unprotected 2033 first round pick. I think this gonna turn into something huge. A matter of fact, and then they gave up 3 second round picks, and not to mention 3 pick swaps, first round pick swaps with the Hornets. So I mean, talk about a haul that the Hornets got from Minnesota, and Minnesota did this to appease their superstar Anthony Edwards, who might not decide to come back there. You know, like eventually he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. He's going to be able to do what he wants to do. And who knows if he's going to decide to stay there. Honestly, like, look, it's going to be exciting to watch what Melo and Anthony Edwards could possibly do. You know, they're going to definitely be a very exciting backcourt. But will the Minnesota Timberwolves be back in the Western Conference Finals? In my opinion, I don't think they will. I I just don't see how they're going to get back there. Like, if you guys know a way, hey, let me know. Put it in the comments. But right now, I just don't see it. So that's why I have the Timberwolves as the losers right now. As the winners, I gotta go with the Bucks. Like, the Bucks got a very good haul for Giannis. Khalil Ware with the Miami Heat, man. He's a center, forward slash center. He's played 4 to 5. He's very athletic. He's very good. I'm telling you, man. Like, and he's young, and he's young. So I mean, this Bucks team, they're set up for the future. So I feel like the Bucks were the winners. I don't know what you guys may think. You can put it in the comments. And just say who you think the winners were or who the losers were for the trade season. Now we're gonna keep it in the NBA, and we're gonna get to the NBA draft, man. I touched on it last week. We didn't know who was gonna be first. We didn't know who was gonna be second. We didn't know who was gonna be third. We just going by projections, but 1, 2, 3 pretty much went the way that it was thought to go, except for the swap. Like AJ or Darren, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBanster. I think I still messed his name, but I started to put that in the correction zone. But DeBasa, AJ DeBasa. I think I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. But AJ DeBasa, he ended up going number 1 to the Washington Wizards instead of Darren Peterson, who was thought of going number 1. He was ranked number 1. So everybody was thinking that he was gonna go number 1, and also because everyone felt like he was the most talented player in the draft. So for AJ to go number 1 instead of him, I felt like it was the best move because the Wizards are already set at guard. What do you need with another one? You got to make smart decisions, man. I feel like the Wizards, man, I can't believe I'm actually saying that the Wizards organization is actually headed in the right direction. Not to say that they haven't had it in the right direction before. They did have that Gilbert Arenas led team. For some reason, I feel like that kind of like fell in their lap. Like they didn't know how it was gonna pan out when they did get Gilbert Arenas, but it ended up panning out for them. I feel like that team put together with Brendan Haywood, Nick Young, Antoine Jameson. That was a very good team, but for some reason I felt like the beginning parts of it was kind of like by accident. But if it wasn't, oh well. But the Wizards, man, I can't believe they actually did. They did a great job with the draft pick. The Jazz picking up Darren Peterson, I feel like he's gonna be great. Their backcourt is gonna be very good, man. The Jazz is very, very good, very young team. They're gonna be in the mix in the next couple of years for sure. Y'all gotta watch out for them. But keeping it on the Wizards, man, and I feel like the most underneath, kind of like underneath the wire type thing, like dark horse. Like you're gonna have to watch the Wizards next year. The Wizards can sneak up on they're gonna sneak up on a lot of teams, and if they stay healthy, I believe they can end up in the Eastern Conference Finals. And why do I say that? Because Trae Young led the Atlanta Hawks team that was pretty good. They weren't the best, but he led them to the Eastern Conference Finals. On his way, he eliminated, well, I'm saying him, with the team, but Trae Young was the leader. So they eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they eventually lost to the Giannis-led Bucks, who eventually won the championship. How ironic is that? Now, fast forward to now, Trae Young has what I feel like the best team, most talented team he's ever had in his entire NBA career. And I had to write this down. So he has Alex Starr as his center. Very talented, very athletic young center, man. He can even hit the 3, and he's going to be playing the 5 And not to mention, even though, Charles Barkley coined Anthony Street Clothes Davis, but Street Clothes Davis can still play. So and he loves to play the four. So you're putting Anthony Davis in his natural position, which he loved to play the four. Alex Starr playing the five, and then you're gonna add in Keyshawn George and um Trey Johnson, and they just drafted AJ. So it's like, man, it's like this team is very long, they're very athletic, and this is the best team that Trey Young has had around them. So if they stay healthy, I believe they can definitely make a run for the Eastern Conference Finals, man. Like the Wizards are, they're set up. They're set up. They're gonna be a very sneaky good team next year, and I believe that they're gonna sneak up on people. What do y'all think? Winners so far this offseason, man. I'm gonna stay with the Wizards. Like the Wizards made some very, very, very good moves, man. I don't know what the Lakers gonna do. They've been in talks with teams. Going back to the Giannis trade, Jaylen Brown was included in the trade with the Celtics. It was the Celtics, like you heard Sham say with ESPN. The Celtics and the Bucks were the two front running teams, and man, like Jalen was thrown in, but they didn't have enough picks. Like the Celtics wasn't like, offering enough picks, and ultimately the Bucks had to do what was best for them, and I felt like that was the best move for them to make. They got a boatload, they got a haul from the Miami Heat to trade away Giannis, and all the Celtics offered was Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks. Now look, there's nothing against Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is definitely a one. He showed that he can be a one. He's an NBA champion. He's an NBA Finals MVP. Like, what more can you ask for in a player that you can get? But at the same time, it's like they wanted to get rid of him. Why? I don't know. And now you got to trade him because his name was out there. Like his name was in talks of trades. For the last couple of years, really, to be honest with you, like even up until the year before the Celtics finally won a championship, it was talks about trading for KD. And of course, Jaylen Brown was in that trade, but Jason Tatum, the quote unquote, who they thought was the number one, he said, no, I'm good. I'm good with my running mate right now. So, I mean, like, what more can you do with this situation? So now he's being linked with the Pistons. I think I also may have heard the Rockets out there too. I don't know what the best fit would be for Jaylen Brown, but at the same time, the question is, what will teams give up to get him? Because if he go to the Pistons, who are the Pistons going to give up? We know they're not going to give up Cade Cunningham. They already traded Isaiah Stewart. I'm sorry, I can't remember who they traded him to. But Isaiah Stewart is out. It's not gonna be Cade, like I said. I don't think it's gonna be Jalen Darren. So it's like, who will the Pistons give up to get Jaylen Brown? What will they give up to get Jaylen Brown? I don't see how that can happen. I don't know how that can happen, to be honest with you, because it's like Jaylen Brown's no slouch. And we're not gonna sit up here and treat him like he's a slouch. Like he deserves to he's the type of player that I feel like, yes, you should be giving up 3 first rounders to 5 first rounders or 2 first rounders, 3 pick swaps. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the type of player that deserves that type of attention. So what would the Pistons give up to get him? I feel like too much. Same for the Rockets. They're a young team. They will have to give up a boatload to get him. But man, I mean, when you think about it, it would be very interesting to see how him and KD, because KD was out there on the island by himself with the Rockets, man. And you already got his old coach over there, So talking about Jaylen Brown. So I mean, him and KD, that would be a very dynamic duel, man. I feel like they could do some things. Now KD's up there in age. He's been injured a lot. So I don't know how it will work out, but I mean, it would be interesting just to see. But I feel like the Rockets will have to give up a whole lot to get Jaylen Brown, and they will be in the same situation that the Miami Heat are in right now with Giannis. Like, they're gonna be trying to scramble to try to build a team, and they're gonna find themselves picking up undrafted rookies, veteran minimums. Like, you don't want to be stuck building your team around two players. It's a hard thing to do, man. Three players, whatever. It's a hard thing to do. So I think Cleveland's been thrown out there too, man. That's a very interesting situation. James Harden got arrested last week, so I mean, you don't know if he's gonna come back. On X, I was sent something from Blaze about places that LeBron could possibly go, and Cleveland was number one on the list. I don't know if that was a real list or if that was just someone posing a question. I didn't have a chance to really look into it like I wanted to, but I mean, if LeBron ends up back in Cleveland, man, like, that would be a nice finish off to your career, especially being able to play for a championship. I think he could help that team get over the hump. Donovan Mitchell did everything he could, man, but James Harden, he haven't showed anything to me that he's a playoff caliber type of player. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can play, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's just not the same player, and that's how he's been his whole career. So I mean, who would have thought that he would have changed this playoffs? Like, I wasn't shocked when they was eliminated by the New York Knicks. I wasn't even shocked that they were swept. I did expect a better series. I did expect it to be more competitive, but the Knicks just blew them out the water. But LeBron in Cleveland, man, I feel like that would be great. I ultimately think he's coming back to LA because his son is in LA. Why would you leave your son? Unless he can figure out a way to get Bronny out of LA. I don't see how LeBron would leave LA. But outside of that, man, who do y'all think winners, losers so far this off season in the NBA? Who y'all think won the trades? What do y'all think is gonna happen? Can Miami Heat build out a team to contend this year, or do you think they're 2-3 years away? Also, what do y'all think of the Minnesota Timberwolves and what they're doing? Do y'all feel like they're panicking and just trying to figure out a way to keep Anthony Edwards around, or do y'all feel like they're making moves to try to win a championship? Me personally, I think they're panicking. Um, and also the Wizards, man. Like what do y'all really think about the Wizards? I think the Wizards are set up to win now and win a lot of games this season. Like I said, if they stay healthy. Defending champs, New York Knicks, man. Congratulations to them again. I don't know what they're gonna do. They got their core. They still got that core, so they're gonna be the team to beat. We don't know what the Celtics are going to look like. Jaylen Brown is out of there, but what will they get for Jaylen Brown in return? We don't know. They good thing the Celtics have a great coach, man. But outside of that, man, what do y'all think? But we're gonna go ahead and get into the last and final topic, man. Actually, this is gonna be I heard that segment, and this is pretty much we're going into the WNBA to finish off the show, man. And let me pull this up real fast. Alyssa Thomas and pretty much Caitlin Clark got into a hard foul that was later looked at by the WNBA, and they eventually deemed it to be a flagrant 2. So she's suspended. Oh, I actually played that a little prematurely. I'm gonna keep this screen up though. No, actually, let me go back. All right, so check this out, y'all. Like I said, when I came back a couple of episodes ago, I left, and I left because of all the comments, and like I said, all the bad comments, directed towards women, and it made me just feel like, there's a lot of men out there that hate women, and mostly men watch the WNBA. So it's like, if you don't like the product, or if you don't like who you're seeing out there, why are you watching? Like, you're wasting your time. So before I get into this topic, before I get into this topic, I just want to let everyone know that the WNBA is a very good league to watch. I spoke on it the week before last about how they're finally getting the money. They're finally getting the share of the business, as they should. But don't get me wrong, like, it's going to be critiqued, but how will it be critiqued? That's the question. Like, how will this league be? Because I mean, it's a lot of racist slurs going out there, you know what I'm saying? Uh Homosexuality slurs being thrown out there, and it's being directed mainly towards minority women in the league. And I don't think that's fair. And what I'm about to get into it is definitely directly linked to Caitlin Clark. Whenever I critique Caitlin Clark, I got the huge, most worst backlash comments that you can think of in my feed. Do I care this time around? I can absolutely care this time around. Like, everybody loves to talk behind either a camera or behind a phone with their thumbs, and that's just what they want to do. People use words, and words hurt. I'm not gonna sit up here and say sticks and stones break my bones, but words never hurt me. That's, man, I just told my age big time on that one, but I'm trying to keep it serious, man. For real. Like, I don't care this time. Caitlin Clark can she can be criticized. She can be critiqued. You can do news on her without someone coming back with a racial slur or something crazy. And I feel like a lot of people out there, that's racist, they use her as a scapegoat to really get the racist things that they want to get out there. And I feel like you're cowards. You're cowards. If you feel that way by yourself. You don't got to feel that way about and use a female to bring that out of you. Like, it's just, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. So I just wanted to set it up. This is about Caitlin Clark. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna critique this whole situation the correct way, because what happened is not cool. What happened to Caitlin Clark is not cool. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to make it seem like, oh yeah, it's okay. No, it's not okay what happened to her. But with that being said, we're not gonna sit up here and act like every single time something happens to her, the whole world gotta stop, or the whole world gotta be blown up, because what happened to her, that's nothing compared to what happened to her quote unquote arch rival that the media threw out there. And that's Angel Reese. But I'm gonna get into the whole spiel. Let's get back to it. I heard that. I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. And just listen to the way they word this. Like, the wording, it's just crazy, man. Like, I just can't stand the way the media not only covers Caitlin Clark, but the way when anything happens to her, like, it's just crazy. And they really do a huge smear campaign on whoever she was involved with.
WNBA season. The six-time All-Stars scored almost 5,000 points, grabbed nearly 3,000 rebounds, and dished out just shy of 2,000 assists. But now, AT checks a less glamorous statistical box.
Y'all hear how they did that?
Serve a one-game suspension. The W announcing that today because of Thomas, quote, recklessly making contact with her fist to the throat area of Caitlin.
Now look, was that cool? No. That shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have happened at all. But at the same time, this is not the only person that Alyssa Thomas did this to. Alyssa Thomas, you can call her tough, hard-nosed. I think Jamel Hill, who I listen to and watch a lot, shouts out to her if she ever see this, man. Like, I've been watching for a long time. But she said Alyssa Thomas is pretty much a hard-nosed fouler. And I can't call her that. I'm just gonna go ahead and call a spade a spade. You know, she's a dirty player. But it's not just to Caitlin Clark. Like, we're sitting up here trying to make it seem like this is just a Caitlin Clark thing, but no, this is a Alyssa Thomas thing. Now, in this situation with Alyssa Thomas, let's say, okay, what if it was Draymond Green? Draymond Green in the NBA, he's considered a dirty player for a lot of antics that he do, a lot of antics that he ended up just getting away with. You know, well, I can't even say get away with it, but you know, like the nut gate. You know what I'm saying? Like he was kicking everybody in the nuts. You know what I'm saying? He got Rudy Gobert like 3-4 times in one season. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was just kicking them legs up, flaring his legs, hitting people, doing stuff like that. Now, Alyssa Thomas, on the other hand, she's doing the same thing. So it's like Draymond's considered a dirty player in the NBA. Alyssa Thomas, she's a dirty player. I don't want to call her a dirty player. Or I don't want her to be a dirty player. But at the same time, if that's what I'm seeing her do, she's a dirty player. Now, with that being said, I'm not gonna sit up here and scorch the earth just because she did it to Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese didn't get half. She didn't get half of this back like support. I'm about to say backlash. She didn't get half of this support when she was clotheslined by Alyssa Thomas. Like, she 2 seasons ago, Angel Reese rookie season, she clotheslined Angel Reese mid-air. And Jamel Hill, she said that on her podcast, and I gotta give her credit for it, but I was thinking the same thing. That's the first thing I thought of. As soon as I saw Caitlin Clark was involved with this and what happened, I said, oh, I already know what time it is. But they're not gonna bring up the fact that Angel Reese was done the same way by the same player, and this player, this is what she does. This is what she does. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit up here and like scorch her the way that they're like they're doing right here. And this is just one news outlet. But I'm gonna continue.
Clark during last night's Mercury win over the Fever. There was no foul called, but upon post-game review, the league office classified it as a flagrant 2. So Thomas will be out for Saturday's game in Toronto against the Tempo. This news putting a bow on a feisty, if not ugly, couple of days in Indiana.
They fight till the end. And there's a push and a talk by, there's another push.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a competitive group, a veteran group. They've been around this for a long time. They're not afraid of the smoke.
No arguing with Nate Tibbetts' comments after Monday's game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, when the Mercury and Fever combined for 6 technical fouls in the fourth quarter.
He said the Mercury are not afraid of the smoke. I'm gonna let that marinate. Y'all think about that for a minute.
And there she is with the hands out.
And former Phoenix fan favorite Sophie Cunningham became a meme for her continued point at longtime X Factor fan favorite DeWanna Bonner.
Cunningham the point.
You know, these are fun games to get in. It got a little chippy in the fourth. I'm sure they'll remember it, and I know we'll remember it too.
2 days later, after the same teams met again in the same building, Kalia Copper said the memories were forgotten.
That was done. It's a new day.
But the Fever felt otherwise.
The fist in the throat is crazy. It's crazy.
Here comes the I heard that right here.
It's dangerous.
Indiana head coach Stephanie White furious about the Alyssa Thomas play, as well as a Valu Ayayi closeout on Caitlin Clark's 3-point attempt, the ensuing possession.
You're coming in here aware of what happened 2 nights ago? And that still happens? Absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And the reckless closeout that they actually reviewed, and the foot still comes down on top of the defender's foot that wasn't upgraded? Absolutely disrespectful. We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called. And
look, I'll just say that is Caitlin Clark a generational talent? That's a great question. But the I heard that moment is really when Coach Stephanie White, being a head coach, should be a professional. She used the language that she used. Now, look, I understand that she's upset because her star player didn't get the calls that she wanted her to get. I understand that, but the language. Just imagine Dawn Staley with all her accolades and everything that she's done for women's college basketball, and she gets up there and she swears like that. We're not only going to be talking about what happened to Caitlin Clark, but we're going to be talking about the head coach using that type of language. So Stephanie White, she's going to get, like, nothing's going to happen to her for that. Like, nobody's going to criticize the way she spoke on the podium. Now, like I said, yes, defend your player. You should defend your player, but it should be in a certain way. It should be in a certain tone. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But like I said, Alyssa Thomas, she's a dirty player. I'm not afraid to say it. It is what it is. That's just what I saw. And that's what I've been seeing the last 3 years. I've been watching the WNBA on a regular basis. But outside of that, let's not always blow everything that's going on, anything that happens with Caitlin Clark up, because all it does, it drains the league, man. WNBA is a very good league, man. Like, the players are getting better. All these stories with Caitlin Clark, like, being blown up like this is unnecessary. And as far as Caitlin Clark being a generational talent, she's very good. I don't know about generational talent. I don't know what her coach is looking at. Her coach never seen you would think her coach never seen Cheryl Swoops play or Maya Moore play. Or right now in front of our face, the face of the league, A'ja Wilson. Yes, A'ja Wilson is the face of the WNBA. We need to stop playing around. I'm not playing around this time. No, I'm not playing around this time. A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. And Caitlin Clark, she's a generational talent that's not even the best player on her team. What happened to her was unfortunate. If this comes off like I'm defending Alyssa Thomas, or if I'm negating the fact that Caitlin Clark, harm was done to her and could have possibly been done to her, no, absolutely not. That shouldn't be on the basketball floor. That was wrong. Alyssa Thomas shouldn't have put her fist in her neck like that. But, and it's a big but. It's not a but as in I'm trying to defend it. It's a but as in, like, she's okay. And the WNBA is a physical game. Professional sports is physical, period. Is she a generational talent? No. Does she have generational skills? Kind of, sort of. She's a really good passer. She can shoot, but she's not the best shooter that I've seen ever in the WNBA. So from that standpoint, I'm not even gonna get into that anymore. That's a topic for another day. But at the same time, what do y'all think? What do y'all think of the coach's comments? What do y'all think of what happened, period? And do y'all remember what happened to Angel Reese? And it wasn't given this coverage at all. It was crazy. It was crazy. Hopefully I can find a highlight and I can throw that in this episode also so y'all can see it. But outside of that, what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think of what happened? And that's pretty much all I have for this week's episode. I appreciate y'all for joining me again. Come back again. And don't forget, a dream is just a dream until you start chasing it. Then it becomes reality, man. But rather than that, y'all have a very blessed and prosperous week coming up. Peace and blessings. Thank y'all again. See you next week.